And we're back. Sorry about that. The live stream dropped for a moment. I had hit it with my elbow. Oh, that's odd. It's not showing up like I thought it would. Oh, it is showing up now. Okay, one by one they're popping up. I added a bunch of widgets. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. This is the Goods Fam on Twitch. I am Philly Good. On the MPCX, we're going to be going through the MPC Bible and just doing step by step going through it. So far we're at chapter 19, non-destructive chopping techniques, and we're just going to kick off where we left off yesterday. We were about to do editing layers. But in the meantime, please jump in the chat after you've been here for about 10 minutes. I haven't changed that setting yet, so yeah, you'll have to wait 10 minutes and then jump in the chat. I'm trying to get 5 people in the chat. That's my goal for today. And as you can see, I've added a few widgets on the side there. So if you want to add emojis and jump in the chat and do things like that, now it should show up on the screen, and you can tip, and there's a couple other things. It shows the amount of followers and how many people are watching this stream down below. So yeah, it makes it a little more interesting for the viewer, hopefully, and hopefully it might help raise a little bit more money to, you know, make a better stream, so it is a better viewing experience for you. I adjusted the screen as well, so you can see what I'm viewing on my screen in front of me. It's up here behind me, so you can kind of follow along and see what I'm doing. Everything's transparent here, so we're just gonna continue starting up our MPCs now. If you have the MPC Bible, you can go to chapter 19 and follow along. And if you have the tutorial files loaded into your MPC, you'll be able to follow along with those folders and the files that are included in the tutorial files. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy this today. Maybe we'll learn something new. As you see, I'm wearing a different hat every day. Today it's my fiance's hat. I hope she doesn't mind. Alright, where were we? I guess it would be clip warping, I imagine. So I'll load that back in there. Alright, editing layers. Some of our layers unfortunately contain clicks at the end of the slice, and you'll soon discover that while the samples page gives you quick access to edit each layer's slices, there's no easy way to solo the audio for one particular layer, so you can hear it in isolation while you make any changes to the start and end points. For example, keep hitting pad A01. Oh, I'll have to turn up the volume here. Okay, so where was I? So I imagine I was in program edit, but Interesting. I feel like that's not what we're working on, so I'm gonna find it again in tutorial files. Chapter 19, it should be what we're looking for in there. I think it was so what they were doing was they were editing layers in this. So they were in the samples page. So if you keep hitting pad A01 to hear the 4 kicks cycle through, so you have the layer of the 4 kicks. We had done that yesterday, layered them all. So you hear that 2 of the kicks have clicks on the end, but which ones? So I think this is the finished product with the kicks already having the clicks removed, but we'll still go through the process and take a look at it. So some kind of layer solo option would be nice, and hopefully Akai look into implementing this in a future update. But in the interim, I feel the best option is just to head back over to sample, edit, chop, and simply check all your slices and remove at endpoint clicks using the techniques we discussed previously. Any tweaks that you make are instantly reflected in your program. So you can take a look at individual slices here and edit those slices to remove any clicks. You do it simply by adjusting the endpoint for the slice, and yeah, it's not very difficult. We learned that before, so if you need to go back, the videos should mostly be up on my YouTube page, and also here on Twitch. I think they have it under my video section on my channel page, so you can always go back through that if you need to learn how to do that. And if not, just stay tuned, and we'll probably go through it all again in the near future. So so if you want, if you have the MPC Bible, you can load up their version of the kit like I just did, which was the NDC slice kit.xpm. And then it says if you select the DD8510 sample in chop, see they have it listed in the MPC Bible as DD, but it's actually DB, as you can see on the screen here, which is what I have loaded up. And the custom slices we created have been saved within the sample itself. So we now have a responsive drum kit that features 12 unique sounds, but only uses a single sample to power it. And at any time, all 12 sounds can be easily tweaked and edited simply by editing their corresponding slices. So yeah, it was a really cool technique that we went through yesterday to do that. So definitely keep that in mind next time you're working on something. You can edit each slice separately to have different effects and different things happen to it. You just do the shift process like we learned yesterday. Alright, so I'm just going to take a sip of water, and we'll get into this next section here. If anybody's here, please jump in the chat. I just want to make sure that I'm still in the same chat because my stream temporarily stopped earlier. And yeah, I believe it's still going. All right, excellent. So alternative slice workflow. Each pad before choosing which slice to use. With this method, we first chop our break as before, but then head over to Program, Edit, Samples, and assign our entire break to pads A01, A02, and A03. So head back to Sample, Edit, Chop, Program, select pad A01, and then select now turn your data wheel and select the preferred slice for this pad. So you can change it to slice 2. You can hit the pad to preview each slice if you need to check which slice is your kick. Continue for all 3 pads. Alternatively, you can set the slices numbers directly in Program, Edit, Samples if you prefer. It's the same slice parameter as the one in Chop Program. So let's see, where is that? Oh yeah, right here. You see the slice parameter right there. So you can set that right from there or from the sample edit screen right there. Right on. Okay. So now we're going to learn about chopping musical pieces. So we're going to go to Browse and we're going to load up the sample jump steady blue.wave. Okay, that was nice. So we're going to select it in Sample Edit, Trim. It's an excerpt from an old 12-bar blues tune. This is not sequenced at all and is played quite freely, so it is going to be harder to chop compared to a more tightly played drum break. In the next example, I want to use this blues loop to create a beat with a laid-back hip-hop feel. Firstly, let's give it a darker vibe simply by tuning the entire sample down. As we've seen previously, this can be done quickly. It can be achieved using the tune parameter in the trim screen. So we're going to retune the sample to a -2.00. Alright, let's hear it now. Oh, wait. So we're going to select the chop screen now, and make sure that the link slices is set to all. Right there. Mine's already set to all. And the pad audition is set to one shot. Where's the pad audition? Is that like a... Yeah, you press shift and then you press one shot so that it becomes a gray tab. Alright, musical samples like this are usually impossible to chop with threshold chopping due to a lack of definition in the waveform peaks. Rather than auto chop, we are going to simply play back the entire sample in chop mode and dynamically add slice points by ear. It's going to be tricky to add our first slice point in real time, as this needs to be placed at the very start of the sample. So instead, take the Q parameter to 0. Mine's already set to 0 here. And now manually add a marker here by tapping pad 1. Not only will this add the first slice marker at 0, it'll also begin playback of the sample. Setting the Q point. Apart from tapping the Q parameter on screen and turning the data wheel, you can also set the Q point using the top Q link in the column 3. It's right here. Try to get a feel for where you want to insert your pad slices. You can preview the sample for as many times as you wish until you're ready to start manually adding your slices. Let's try to add a slice point at each bar of music. So hit 1 to begin playback again. At this point, you can now press the on screen. Here's what I came up with. If you want to remove a slice, hit the relevant pad to select it. Hold down shift and hit slice minus. Ooh. Didn't know that was there. To remove all slices, hold down shift and clear all. Chopping using pad parameters. Hit shift and convert and choose new program using slices. I guess that's the one. It's new drum program using slices. In my MPCX, they must have updated the title, or they just got it wrong in the MPC Bible. So under slice type, We're going to select pad parameters and deselect create events. Mine's already deselected. We're going to hit do it and go back to the main and assign our newly chopped program track 1. I don't are they talking about the NDC slice kit? They want to assign that there, I assume. I don't know. I'm not sure I understand what they mean here. Where would I find... Oh. We're gonna... Let's see if that's what they meant. I don't understand why it didn't automatically assign it to the pads. Why I would have to myself, but if that's what we're doing, then that's what we're doing. All right. Okay, I just like having them colored. Alright, so I went to main and assigned a newly chopped program, Jump Steady Blue, track 1. And So now that it's an active program, have a play around, and you now have all your slices assigned to pads. So what's different this time? Go to Program, Edit, Samples, and hit pad A03. Okay, Program Samples, hit pad A03. As with standard NDC, each pad is assigned the entire Jump Steady Blue sample, but this time slice is not assigned a specific slice number. It's set to pad instead, okay? How is this different? Well, previously our slice regions are set within the original sample itself and remain independent of the program. If we signed our drum break to another program, we would be able to call up those slices in the program as well, just by recalling the slice numbers on each layer. With pad parameters, we've transferred the slice's parameters to the program itself. With slice set to pad, the endpoints you now see in Program, Edit, Samples are the pad start and pad end parameters and are stored within the program itself, not the sample. Or as with standard NDC, you can head over to Sample Edit and select Program Mode. As we discovered previously, in Program Mode you can directly edit the region assigned to the currently selected pad using any standard editing method. Using pad parameters is still non-destructive, as you are able to continually make changes to the regions assigned to your pads, and it still only uses a single sample to achieve the end result. However, remember that this method does not actually store any of the slices within your original sample. The slice points are entirely stored in your program in the form of those pad start and pad end points. Each pad therefore can be edited completely independently of any other pad. Gotcha. Experimenting with your initial chops. I just need to get a sip of water here. If anybody's here, please jump in the chat if you've been here for 10 minutes or more. I'm trying to get 5 people in the chat. That's my goal for today. And yeah, check out all the widget stuff that's going on now. I added a few fun things, so check all that out. And as always, please subscribe, follow, and hit the notification bell. It'll let you know that I'm here every day, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm Philly Good on the MPC, and this is the Goods Fam on Twitch. Alright. Experimenting with your initial chops. So, at this point you could start moving your chops around and coming up with a mixed version of your original loop. However, I'd prefer to do something far more interesting. The idea here is to really start listening to your current selection of chops and try to pinpoint areas that could form the foundation of a completely new beat. A little hook, a riff, a phrase, etc. As we've already chopped this loop into more manageable chunks, the process is a little easier than trying to work on an entire song. Load up the project file blueschop.xpj. From the Chapter 19 folder. Jump Steady Blue program as made in the previous section, along with the NDC slice kit that they created at the beginning of this chapter. At this point, take a listen to your existing slices and start to get some ideas about which chops you want to start playing with. Sorry, I just want some color on the screen. I feel like it's more fun that way, right? All right. Okay, so kind of get an idea of what is on each pad and how they sound and interact with each other, and how you can make fun little loops with playing the pads. So that sounds pretty dope. So the ones that they in the MPC Bible thought stood out were the chops on pads 4, 7, 8, and 9. I don't know if that's what I chose. What was I playing with? Yeah, I was playing with those two initially. That's what caught me, was 7 and 8. I wasn't really playing with 9. Yeah, I was playing with 3, 7, 8. Yeah, I think that's what I was doing. 3, 7, 8, and 6 or 5. Yeah, I can see 4 in there. It sounds pretty cool. All right. So at this point, let's move over to something that they made earlier. We're going to go to sequence 1, beat, and press on play start. This is a sequence drum beat that they made on track 2 drums with a tempo of 90 BPM, and they're using the program NDC Slice Kit for the sounds. On track 1 chops, they've already assigned their own Jump Steady Blue, as you can see down here, the Jump Steady Blue program. So what we're going to do now is find the natural tempo of our tuned down chops so that we can adjust the tempo of the drum beat accordingly. One way to do this is to first locate a nice tight chop. For example, one that has a very tight beginning, and simply repeatedly triggering the pad, it allows it to finish playing before you re-trigger it, like I was doing earlier with the 7 and yeah. Anyway, so pad 8 is a prime example of what they were doing, and it's also one of the chops that they highlighted previously as a good choice for our new beat. So start continually triggering that while simultaneously tapping the tap tempo button at the same tempo. Oh. The tap tempo. So this will be new for me right now. Let's try it with pad 7. Okay, and you see the sequence tempo begin to change to match the tempo that we were tapping to. So the sequence tempo, I guess the BPM changed to match what I was doing there. Wow. Tap tempo accuracy. You'll probably find that tap tempo produces quite erratic tempo readings in your sequence. Yeah, it's a 37.95. It's a very specific. But we can reduce this issue by going to Preferences. So where's that? We're going to go Menu, Preferences, Hardware, and change tap tempo from 2 taps to 4 taps. Tap tempo. Where's that? Mine's already set to 4 taps. So this means your tempo is taken from the average of your last 4 tap tempo hits instead of the last 2. So I must have already set that previously with some tips I got from somewhere else. But that's cool. So set it from 2 to 4. The tempo provided by tap tempo obviously does continually vary, so once you've got a decent idea of the tempo you need, stop tapping and enter this tempo into your sequence. So they set one of 73.1 BPM. That's pretty specific as well. 73. Point 1. Okay, and if you go to sequence 2, find tempo, press play start, you can see and hear how just repeating that same region has helped to locate the natural BPM of the beat without too much trouble. Oh, hi, NI, N1, N3, K9. Thanks for tuning in, man. I like your show a lot. The hot box or whatever is pretty chill. I liked it. The Renaissance, I don't know if that's the version. It's just I believe the original MPCX. Nothing fancy or special about it. I think it's just the version that they originally came out with, and I just happened to get that one. So glad you could tune in though and jump in the chat. Glad you're here and checking it out. Super happy that you followed, so that's super dope. Hopefully I'll be able to tune into your shows in the future. I saw you had a Discord set up as well, so I hopped in there and checked it out, and yeah, it's nice, man. Hopefully I can learn a few things from you in your stream as well. So anybody else watching, please check out his stream. So let's get back into this here. Where were we? We were just setting the BPM. So we're on sequence 2, find tempo. We press play start, and with the tempo set, they now want to get an idea of the running order of the chops. So they spent a little time playing with slices 4, 7, 8, and 9 until they finally settled on this, which was so A7, A8. Here, I'll turn it up a bit so you can hear it better. Okay, so that's what they did. A7, A8, A7, A8, A9, A4, A7, A8. So I guess that created like a little melody that he enjoyed. Alright, so that's 8 evenly spaced pads over 4 bars. So to lay these down to track 1, they programmed these into the grid at intervals running every 2 beats using the grid view techniques covered previously. You can hear their version on sequence 3, rough chop. So we're going to press play start and check it out. Alright, cool. So tightening your chops. When we originally chopped this loop into regions, they felt that they'd achieved a nice 12 region chop that separated each bar phrase quite nicely. However, when you listen to the perfectly sequenced version above, it is clear that we have some tweaking to do. For example, the slice on pad A07 seems a little rushed, while the pad A04 slice is clearly too short and needs extending. First, make sure you have track 1. The blue program is currently selected. Now go to Spool and press the program button and hit pad A07. You can hear that the beginning is a little clipped. So let's back off a bit on the slice 7 start point. First, make sure you've set link slices off. Oops. As we don't want our edits adversely affecting other slices. Oops. Maybe I should fix that, whatever I did there first before I turn it off. Okay. So we'll turn it off now. And with the snap to 0 on, change the start point to 386000. Three, 8, 6. Zero. Well, that's the closest I'm gonna get it, I think, unless maybe I can zoom in a little bit more and get it really. 3860. Yeah, it doesn't really. Doesn't like that. So 033 it is. That's the closest I can get it. We're going to preview the edit by hitting pad A07. Alright, now press play start. And you should hear that all instances of the A07 slice in our sequence, they fit much better now. So now back in Chop, program, select pad A04. This one's too short, so it needs to contain ideally that additional note from the start of slice 5. So let's increase the length of slice 4 accordingly. So let's see if we can match that. 260569. That's pretty close. 260592 is as close as I could get. So we're gonna hit play start. We're gonna hear that we filled the empty space in the sequence. So at this point you can go through all the regions to double check for any oddness while the sequence is playing back. If you wish, rather than making changes in sample edit program mode, you can make edits directly in program edit samples by manually changing the layer's start and end parameters directly here. So if you want to do that for each one, you can definitely do that. I'm just going to take a sip of water here. It's really dry in here. So now we're going to be adding tail. You can alternatively perform these edits directly in program edit, samples. The waveform is not as tall, but you do have access to the tail length setting, which you could use to help add a little more end fade to some of those abrupt chops. In fact, they just went ahead and added 200 milliseconds of tail length to all the chops using edit zones all. Edit zones all, and then 200 milliseconds. There you go. So that was, yeah, all of them have that 200 millisecond tail length now. Finishing up. So we're going to listen to the final version that they had on sequence 4 called Jump Steady Final. Here they added a small fill at the end of the sequence, which they created from the very end of the slice on pad 10. This is obviously only a very rough song sketch, but as you can see, the unique MPC chopping functionality provides you with plenty of different workflow options. Setting the in this tutorial, we've looked at chopping using slices and pad parameters, and you might be developing a preference for one over the other. If so, you can actually configure the pads to default to using one or the other method. The default option is slice pad, but you can change this to slice all. You just go to menu, preferences, project defaults, and default pad slice right here. You can change it from pad to all, whatever you choose. So that's it for today. We finished chapter 19. I think I'll leave it at that since we only have about 9 minutes left to go. Tomorrow we'll be covering Chapter 20, Progressive Drum Layering Techniques. So if you have the MPC Bible, please follow along on your MPC, and you can load up the tutorial files for Chapter 20 and be ready to go. I'll get a little track loaded up here. I guess what we worked on probably last Monday would have been 2 days ago. I would have made some random beat that I just started. I didn't get too far into doing it, but let's see. I think that's it right there. Not sure, but let's hear it anyway. I like this actually. Sounds alright. The bird samples. Alright, I think it's better now. It's not hitting the red anymore. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in today. This is the Goods Fam on Twitch. I am Philly Good, and I'm here every day, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, on the MPCX. And we're just going through the MPC Bible, learning all the ins and outs and all the details of how to use this machine properly. And just trying to build a little community around those who have an MPC and like to learn how to use it better, and maybe maybe we can all help each other out. So I want to give a shout out to Sound Guy Wicks, who tuned in yesterday, my most recent follower, trying to get a goal of 50 followers by May 1st, so hopefully we can grow this channel a little bit. And yeah, check out the Hotbox with N1 N3K9. He has an awesome show where he's on his MPC. I believe it's the MPC 1. Not sure exactly. But definitely some good tunes and fun to watch. And he freestyles a little bit on it too. So yeah, very cool. Also check out DJ Whisper 1984. He's on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. Always a fun little party. Starting Thursdays at 7 and Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. And as always, if you can follow, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to let you know of my next stream. Hopefully plan to add a few extra things to the channel soon. I'll probably be doing some stretches early morning. And my fiance will be doing some yoga, or meditation, I believe. Maybe some yoga. I don't know. I can convince her to do that. Alright, so glad you're all here, those who tuned in, and hope you have a great Wednesday. And we'll check you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Stick around, I'll try and raid you into another channel. Hopefully Kevin Crown is still running his show, and I can tune you into him or someone else. Please interact with any of the widgets as well. We got the tip ticker, the 100-bit goal that I'm going for right now. So now I believe you can do the bits, and we got the follower goal up there. We got the tip goal. So I'm looking to get what was it, $3. I'm looking to get a stream deck, so it'll add some flair to how I run the channel. There's people watching, streaming the channel on different platforms, so it shows Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So right now, as I can see, there's only one person watching. It's probably N1 N3K9. Thank you for tuning in today, man. And yeah, that's it for today. We're out. This is it for us, but stick around for the raid. I'll send you into someone real cool in a second here. Alright, peace, y'all. Thank you.